My name is Liddell Bryant and I am the co-founder of Chicken Shop Shakespeare. So what do we do at Chicken Shop Shakespeare? Well, we take the works of Shakespeare and we produce them in modern day settings through flash mob theatre and film, with the aim of making Shakespeare engaging and accessible, in particular for audiences who don't necessarily access the bard's work. What makes Chicken Shop Shakespeare so unique? I definitely say that it is partly to do with our beginnings. Our beginnings were very organic, and because we've sort of maintained that experimental, explorative way of working. We do a lot of flash mob work, which no other Shakespeare company does. And we are orientated towards not only performing Shakespeare, but making Shakespeare relevant, making Shakespeare accessible, and making Shakespeare engaging. And that's what sets us apart from any other Shakespeare company. I think that our approach to Shakespeare with regards to the use of our own clothing, the use of our own personal characteristics, the settings, the spaces that we perform it in, all of these things are relevant to us as individuals. And when we produce workshops or run workshops, what we tend to do is make sure that the content of the workshop bears relevance to the participants in the workshop. And that's something that we always endeavour to do, and we feel that enables participants to have Shakespeare form itself around them and allows them to engage with Shakespeare in a way which is relevant to them. Always introduce Shakespeare with some sort of performance or visual interpretation. So there's lots of wonderful movies out there, Shakespeare interpretations, or you could always use a Chicken Shop Shakespeare video. I think that visual interpretations and performances allow students and participants to look beyond the sort of linear format which Shakespeare is presented to us in. Shakespeare is always to be performed, and we should never forget that. So, always introduce Shakespeare with performance. Allow your students and participants to perform Shakespeare, to get up and to actually read it out loud, to scream it, to shout it from the rooftops. Because that enables them to get into their psyche, into their bodies, into their hearts and minds, so to speak. And so, performance, once again, is key. Shakespeare is always to be performed. Once your students or participants have begun to use their minds to engage with Shakespeare, it may be then good to get playful in it again and to give them an opportunity to mess around with Shakespeare and just make it their own. So at this point, usually what I'd get students to do is something along the lines of just taking a well-known speech, or any speech actually, and just playing with it. So for example, I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fasting fires, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. Is exactly how the original goes. But what I'd encourage students to do is to totally move away from that. So for example, I am thy father's socks, doomed for a certain term to walk on your feet, and for the day confined to smell those stinkers in days of years past. You see, it can be playful, it can be useful to get students to really pick Shakespeare apart in a playful and fun, engaging way, so that it doesn't become this big, fearful task. It's literature, and it's to be celebrated by all of us. So there are a few top tips for you, for your students, for your participants, and I hope they are of use to you. Keep up the good work, keep engaging with Shakespeare, and keep inspiring a generation of new Shakespeareans.